Episode 3. Rather than continuing directly along the main quest with Papashan here, I think I'd like to go ahead and pick up the second mage class, which I know happens only once you've reached level 10. I could continue with the main quest to get the experience for that, but I think I'll do some quests along, or within Ul'dah, just because I'd never done them before, and my whole reason for coming back and playing this game on a second character is to experience some of the things I haven't. I could teleport directly inside the walls, but with such few gil to my pocket, I don't want to spend it quite yet. We get decent experience just from these monsters at this level. This might be faster than doing random quests along Ul'dah, but I'd be bored. I don't imagine we'll have to do too many quests. I don't think the experience bonus applies to quests, but it should only be a few more until we reach level 10 and can pick up that new class. I think it's a good idea in general to go to a realm reborn with at least 2 or more classes, just so you can divvy up the experience and experiment with what you like, especially for a new player that might not be used to tanking or might not like the DPS class they chose. And here's an example of how you would pick up gear outside of buying it from the market. A lot of people, like myself, will choose not to do these quests and go directly through the main quest, so they won't always have the gear that they need. Pray let me catch my breath. I went all the way to the Scorpion Crossing for a package, but only just now realized I've returned with the wrong one. The way back is just so far. I can't. Would you make the trip back in my stead? I'm sure some poor soul at Scorpion Crossing is missing this package. I haven't the breath to tell you the way. Go and see Mimishu. It really isn't that far away. And Kikazani. Sure, darling. You can come for a ride. Huh? Where am I? Who are you? And more importantly, where'd she go? Ah, bugger. Did me shift start already? The hell's with it. I'm bleeding exhausted anyway. Mind taking this to Giginasu at the dispatch yard outside the city? He'll probably give you something for the trouble. Oh, that's unfortunate. We were just there. Tell me, what brings you here, friend? Looking for a bit of work, perhaps? Some small job to add a little weight to that coin purse of yours? That's exactly what we're looking for. Well, you're in luck. The pugilists have just placed an order with me for several of the leather gloves and harnesses they use for sparring. But the traders are cruel, for I find myself lacking the hides required. Would that I had the pelts of a few snapping shrews. What say you, friend? Care to help the merchant down on his luck? Bring me 5 snapping shrew pelts, and I promise to make it worth your while. You can find the creatures roaming central Danalan. I'm surprised we don't have any. Hey you, I saw you looking at me. You got something to say, huh? No? Well, I do. You know Didi Lotta? Short, broke, never pays what he owes. Yeah, that bleeding whore, son. Tell him to pay up, or I swear by the 12 I'll beat him so hard, it'll feel like the second coming of Dalamud. If I see that little shite face, I'll end up pounding him into a bloody pulp, like as not. So you go and tell him. Fireworks are going off somewhere. Scorpion Crossing? The way couldn't be simpler. Pass through this gate and head west until you come upon it. Delivering a package, are you? In that case, you'll want to speak to Oswald when you arrive. Oh, good gods be good. Gelther's Gagoon. Alright. I'll give back every gil I owe, I swear it. But no more beatings, I beg of you. A follow-up quest. I didn't expect that. Look, I haven't got the gil on hand, but I do have this ring. Ain't much to look at, but it'll surely fetch a high price. Was me dear departed mom's wedding ring. God's rest her soul, but she'll understand. Show it to Mamane over at the ossuary, and you'll get your coin. Selling your mother's wedding ring. How terrible. Oh gods, please, I'll get the gil, I promise. Wait, you ain't here to collect? Greetings, adventurer. What brings you to the Arsenes ossuary? You wish to sell this heirloom on behalf of a Didi Lotta? Very well. It is most unfortunate when such drastic measures must be taken. And doubly so when the item in question is a fake, and such a gaudy, poorly wrought one. Also, you do know that our appraisals are not free. Normally this fee is subtracted from the agreed upon value. Alas, considering the negligible value of this ring, I'm afraid you would still owe us. However, since this is a rather unusual circumstance, we shall waive the fee this once. No need to concern yourself with the bauble. I will personally see to its disposal. Is that the end of that quest? The money never gets paid to that guy. Not that I have any stake in it. I am Erasmus of the Order of Nalthal, and I am charged with the studying of the anatomy of this region's fauna and the environs in which they dwell. For the dark art of our order is death itself, and power over death can only come to the knowledge of life. One day I shall publish my findings in a single, comprehensive volume, The Many Breaths of Thanalan, but there is much work to be done before that day. Aid me, sister. Bring me 5 bottles of marmot blood, and perhaps I shall name you in a footnote. Marmots are hardy creatures that thrive nigh everywhere. You'll most certainly find them just outside the city in western Thanalan, by way of the gate of the Sultana. Do take care. They can be feisty little critters when threatened. Once again, surprised I don't have any items dropped from those enemies. We already killed a few of them. How can the ossuary demand such exorbitant contributions every single moon? It's outrageous, I tell you. Don't they understand that a woman has needs? How do they expect me to pay for the rouge and sunsilk dresses and feed my marmot? Oh, if only I'd had the foresight to marry a more ambitious man. This is all his fault. If he had just worked harder and showed some initiative, surely he would be rewarded, maybe even promoted. If things don't improve, it won't be long before I join the beggars in Pearl Lane. Save me from this cruel fate, I beg of you. Speak with my husband, Bobonima, and find some way to motivate him. You should find him at the Colosseum entrance, wearing one of those ridiculous outfits. There's no other choice. I must buy a new dress. I will not, nay, I cannot allow myself to be seen wearing these rags a moment longer. I imagine Komori particularly hates all of these side jobs she's picking up. Hi, I'm Bobonima. Congratulations, you found the world's worst husband. That is, if you believe that harpy I have for a wife. She never cooks, she never cleans, she just gallivants around, spending my hard-earned money. And now I see she's speaking ill of me to bloody strangers. Well, if you're hell's bent on meddling in my affairs, you can assist me by taking some of these Franz the Fair flyers and posting them on the walls inside the Colosseum. I've got a long night ahead of me standing out here, so I won't be getting to it anytime soon. When you finish, go and tell Wolcon at the Gladiators Guild. He should give you something for your trouble. Key items can't be discarded. I knew the experience from side quests wouldn't be that much, but it's actually a lot less than I figured. Let's talk to Milo while we're here. Welcome back, Komori. I take it you've dispatched the beasts, and with ease. Rest assured there will be far greater challenges to come. If you wish to master the sword, you must test yourself against a wide variety of foes. To this end, I present you with this hunting log. I should have picked this up first. It contains information on creatures ideal for a gladiator in training. You will doubtlessly gain valuable experience should you seek out and slay them. It is only with such practice that you will recognize and eliminate such deficiencies in your technique. Your training under me shall continue once the haft sits so snugly in your hand that you cannot imagine holding aught else. Until then, Komori. Yes, Komori's already considering picking up something else, but she won't say no to a few gil at this point. Role actions are shared between roles, like tanks, sharing the action between different classes. We'll put this... I usually keep it up here. Or was it here? Yes. Now the hunting log, I forgot, is a nice way to get experience while you're out killing monsters. A small boost, but still worthwhile if you happen to see something marked out in the field. Ah, Komori. I take it you and your sword have become better acquainted. then I will now instruct you on another fundamental aspect of what it means to be a gladiator, commanding an opponent's attention. As gladiators, we are trained to engage enemies at close range, weathering their attacks as we deliver our own. However, there are times when we must do battle alongside our allies, whose talents are not the same as our own. In such a situation, your role is not to slay the enemy in front of you, but rather to defend the man beside you. We do this by eliciting the enmity of our opponents through attacks and techniques designed to incite their hatred. You must learn to draw the enemy's attention to yourself, and to trust in your stout constitution to endure. In doing so, you protect your weaker comrades who would otherwise perish. To help you better understand this, there is a task I would have you perform. It just so happens that Momodi of the Quicksand has requested our assistance. A gang of Lominsan marauders has paraded into town, and begun harassing people outside her establishment. Men like these prey on the weak, but will turn tail and flee at the first sign of defiance. You need not resort to violence. It will suffice to show them that you are not afraid of them, and will not tolerate their behavior. Seek out the Lominsans and make your presence known by bellowing, "Face me, marauder." In this way you will protect the people of Ul'dah, as you would your allies in battle. I imagine Komori isn't very interested in defending allies or anything like that, but she will probably enjoy bullying around some drunk people at the bar. You helping Bowenima? Well, ain't that charitable of you. Franz has gotten pretty popular of late, and his fans keep stealing these flyers and taking them home as souvenirs. Ah, so you've met Bowenima's wife. Now I understand. Sorry to hear you got caught up in all that. If you ask me, they're made for one another. Not that it's my place to judge, mind. Any road, we appreciate your help. There are more quests we can pick up here, but considering how much experience we're getting, we'll be here all day if we only level up to that mean. I think I'll finish up what I have here on the sidebar, and maybe see about slaying some monsters on the hunting log to get that last bit of experience so we can get our other class. Maybe I've forgotten, but from a ground level, it can be quite beautiful. I really should walk around more than flying around everywhere. And there's our mark for the hunting log. Hopefully we'll get decent experience. Not as much as I experienced as I'd hoped. It might add up. That's all the blood we need. It's gone. I just know it. Gods, as if I hadn't enough problems already. You took the wrong package, Botoof, you bloody oaf. The Horizon package. You're a 12 cent. You've spared me quite a headache, friend. Thank you. If only there weren't so many other misplaced shipments plaguing me these days. Again, we'll get the intelligence equipment. As far as the quests that I intend to do in this playlist, I think I'll do all of the main quests and any relevant blue side quests that lead to greater content. Having said that, blue side quests like this tend to be unimportant, although I think this unlocks housing, so we may as well take it. Have you heard the news about the goblet? All that quality land, so desperately coveted, is to be auctioned off to bidders, regardless of their origins. Even adventurers have the right to participate. Just imagine, the entire area could end up owned by the wealthy foreign. Ah, beg your pardon, miss. It isn't that I dislike adventurers, far from it. But when you consider that Ul'dah is still struggling to accommodate countless refugees, the idea that this land is being sold for profit is not surprising whatsoever, come to think of it. Still, the least they could do is give preferential treatment to hard-working Uldahns like me. I've been saving for years, just waiting for an opportunity like this to come along. Say, you wouldn't happen to be curious as well, would you? About the goblet? My hands are full here, but if you've a moment to head that way and look into this auction business on my behalf, I'd be ever so grateful. There's bound to be an immortal flames representative by the gates in the goblet, who can explain what's going on. This wouldn't happen without General Ralbon's approval. Of that much I'm sure. That's nearby. Heard about the auctions, have you? You're not the first to approach me this morn. It is true. In an effort to encourage immigration to our great nation, all lands within the goblet are to be set aside for adventurers like yourself. Tragic, some might say, that only adventurers will be permitted to settle within its wards. But such decisions were made by men wiser than I. A beautiful place, the goblet. A man-made oasis, built atop a towering butte. But why bother explaining when you can see it for yourself? Just head through these gates and follow the road. If you wish to know more about the goblet, speak with the recruit stationed just past the entrance. He'll be happy to assist you. I imagine that Komori, having found herself recently homeless, is particularly interested in the prospect of buying a house here. Surely 440 gil can cover the price. Ignore those prices. Quite a pretty place. Each city-state comes with its own player housing region like this, located near the city itself. I guess it's debatable on which one is the prettiest, but I'm more partial to the sunny beach side of Limsa Lominsa. This place isn't all too bad, with the pool in the center. There isn't really anything else like it in the game. Do we need to attune to these? We do not. Our quest is over here. Well, it's not related to the quest, I'm sure, but we can at least take a look around. Greetings, adventurer, and welcome to the Goblet. Beg your pardon, an Uldan woman asked you to learn more about the auctions. Oh dear. As you may have heard, these plots are reserved exclusively for adventurers. Since your friend is an Uldan citizen, she is ineligible to participate. Should you yourself have a mind to purchase a plot, pray speak with a resident caretaker. He can guide you through the process. Yes, Komori, I suppose, is technically a resident of Ulda, but she won't be telling this guy that. And since she is homeless, maybe her residency is in question. I believe the caretaker is in the center. And here it is, the centerpiece of the residential district of Ulda. It'd be nice to see players fraternizing around this plaza, but I guess nobody really uses this area for that, especially in a sparsely populated server. Who do we talk to about buying a house? I believe it's up that way. Welcome to the Sultana's Breath Apartments. Whether you've come with an eye to buy or simply a question to ask, my services are at your disposal. Let's buy an apartment. In order to purchase an apartment, you need to be level 50 and hold the rank of second lieutenant in the Grand Companies. Komori is probably pissed. Let's go ahead and deliver the bad news to Ime. Maybe that'll make Komori feel better. You've returned. Tell me, what have you learned of the auctions? Eh? What do you mean it's reserved exclusively for adventurers? I mean, sure, times are tough, and every nation is scrambling to attract formidable fighters. What about my needs? What about 40 acres and a chocobo? Bah, it's just not fair. I'm right there with you, Ime. We could use a bed to sleep on. The residential district Ethernet is unlocked. You have more? Unrelated to the housing quest. Just a few more quests to wrap up before I think we're ready to reach level 10. The blood. Have you brought it? Yes, yes, this shall serve nicely. By virtue of your toil, I am one step closer to publishing The Many Breaths of Thanalan. Thank you. Take this as a recompense. Go now, and may the traders smile upon you. By the way, she has nothing else to say. Ah, I missed the aetherite. We'll hit the next one. Time to bully some folk. Bugger off. Can't you see I'm having a civilized conversation with this poxy whoreson? This would be one of the quests where you need to emote at a character. Playing on controller, I can't type into the chat box. So whenever these quests come around, I have to search through in order to find the right emote. What? You're blaming me because this little shite shat his own pants? Well, bugger him and bugger you too. You know your friend here's a 12-damn cheat. Thinks he can charge us more because we're foreigners. But he'll get his own back, mark me words. Oi, come now. He was disrespecting me proud sea-wolf heritage. Fine, I'll leave the bastard be, but we ain't finished. Hells is your problem. Maybe she likes her men rough. What are you supposed to be, her bleeding lady in waiting? Bah, it don't matter. You've gone and spoiled the mood. I imagine Komori enjoyed bullying people bigger than her. Epoxy arse is your best brew. Epoxy arse, this is your best brew. I'd sooner drink a pint of me own piss than this swell. Just who the hells do you think you're speaking to, maggot? I'm Farmole, the Driven, and me bloody marauders have been reaving so long, mothers scare their children with tales about us. Don't believe me words? Then I'll let me axe do the talking. Oh ho, this is lively even for the quicksand. You two going to put on a show for us? What's this? Another God's damned fool? Show some respect when you talk to. Farmole the Driven, leader of a troop of bloody mummers or some such. Aye, I heard you the first time. Your voice carries quite well. Then unless you want me to split your skull with me axe, you better. That sword. It couldn't be frenzy. But only the sword of Nalwood. Bloody hells, it's you! You know, I've never been one to stand back and watch. Mind if I join the fun? Begging your pardon, sir. Why do they always do that? Looks like it's just you and me. Standing up to that Leminson was quite brave of you, and quite foolish. I think I like you, gladiator. Name's Aldous, and I'd buy you a drink, but I'm afraid I just spent the last of my coin. I used to be a young gladiator like you. Back then but that hardly concerns you. These days I'm just an explorer of the unexplored, a seeker of as-yet known experiences. Like this beautiful stranger keeping my bed warm right now. Gods, I miss this city. This wonderful desert jewel of debauchery and sin. Now if you'll excuse me. Well, we're not quite level 10, but since we're back in the bar, I think now's a good time to take a break.